The third thing is to really learn to accept it. Just let these thoughts come in. Recognize that a thought doesn't make you a bad person. A violent thought doesn't mean you're a violent person. Anxiety has a great history of really convincing you that you're out of control. It's really easy at making you think that you will be fully out of control and that anxiety is pretty much the driver. So when you have these thoughts, recognize that, to take it with a grain of salt, to recognize that it's not actually in control. You're still in control. You're not going to do these things. It's just very easy for it to make it seem like you're going to do these things. Now, lastly, if you are having these thoughts, if you really are having thoughts and you're in a state of really high anxiety and it's really throwing you off and you can't really think rationally, it's very hard to think logically. Okay, look, this is just excess adrenaline, this and that. The best way to really look at it is just look at it as, look, these aren't my thoughts. I'm not going to do anything like that. It's just an offset of anxiety. It just is. I know these thoughts are scary. I know it's debilitating. I don't know who would ever think like this. This is terrible thoughts, but you know what? It's just excess adrenaline burning itself off. I'm just going to let it burn itself off. I'm not going to try to stop these thoughts. I'm just going to let it do what it needs to do, but I'm not going to engage. Over time, the thoughts are just going to burn itself out. It has to. Why? Because it's an offset of adrenaline. And we all have finite adrenaline in our body. Eventually, it's going to burn itself off. Once you disengage from these thoughts, when you just allow these thoughts to happen, know what they are, just thoughts, what you're really doing is you're retraining your amygdala, the emotional part of the brain, the limbic structure that really determines the fight or flight. You're really teaching it that, look, these kinds of thoughts are inappropriate. That's not something you're going to do. So it's just not going to reinforce that in the future. That's essentially how you get rid of those thoughts. So hopefully this was great info. Hopefully you really understood. Hopefully you guys got some value out of this video. If you want to know more, if you want to know like even more in detail, how do you get out of this? What steps can you really do to fully overcome? I have a private Facebook group down below. I'll put the link down below. This is a pretty small group, but these individuals are people that are very, very, very serious about overcoming anxiety and panic attacks.